Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome back to the Captain's Lounge. I am your captain, Captain Diesel. And today I have with me the progenitors of the Captain's Lounge. I have with me Cyber Dad, Cyber Cap, Old Head Negro. And in addition, I have an additional Old Head Negro, the Father Pad, the Dad Pad, Sir Pennyworth. How are you guys doing?
I can't complain, brother. I'm doing all right. Just just chilling out here, doing what I do best. Um, Being a degenerate, scratching my head, watching an ungodly amount of anime.
As you should. Pennyworth?
I am here for violence and bad opinions.
Yeah.
That's a great
on that note, y'all, this was kind of an impromptu thing. I called in the troops because I wanted to have a discussion about a video that came across my attention as I was doom scrolling through Twitter. Well, doom scrolling through Twitter. A video where this guy has a very interesting take on modern day gaming. So let's show that to you guys real quick.
Okay.
Gaming nowadays sucks, and there's no more good games to play. Saying that is probably the easiest way to trigger most modern gamers. However, if y'all actually took the time to look at people who say that, I promise you realize that they kind of have a point. Because see, most people who say that come from an era where you didn't have to, quote, expand your horizons to find a good game. Because back in the day, if you wanted to find a good game, it was easy. Here you go. Here you go. No sports, that's fine. Here you go. Want a good detective noir story? Here you go. Want a shooting game with some over-the-top gunfights? Here you go. Want GTA, but not GTA? Here you go. Need a racing game? Here you go. No microtransactions, by the way. Even this. I mean, goddamn, bro, I can keep going.
Then y'all say the only people who say that are people who only play 2K and Madden.
Do realize that those same people are the people who had more than 2K and Madden back in the day. Let me walk you through it real quick. See, back then, we didn't need to just rely on Madden for our football fix. We could go NFL Street. We could go ESPN 2K5. We could go NFL Blitz. We could go NFL Game Day. Hell, fuck it. Let's do it. NFL Quarterback Club. Bro, we didn't need just 2K. We had NBA Street. We had NBA Jam. Man, I bet half of y'all ain't even heard of NBA Shootout. ESPN Basketball. NBA Inside Drive. The GOAT of them all, NBA Live. We had variety back then. We had options, and those games came complete. They didn't come with no microtransactions. Y'all remember when this dropped? Yeah. This shit wouldn't have happened back then. Stop getting upset with people when they say that there ain't no more good games left when you got games like this that come out and it take them 2 fucking years to fix the shit. Because when this dropped, it was finished. It was complete. Wasn't no goddamn patch. Oh yeah, y'all remember this? Midnight releases? Ain't no more of that shit. This was a vital part of gaming culture when there was games that was worth standing outside all goddamn night for. Oh yeah, y'all remember this? Probably not. Couch co-op. The fuck happened here? Another very vital part of gaming culture that was swiped away from us because of corporate greed. Oh no, we don't want 4 of y'all sharing one console. We want all 4 of y'all to buy your own console and just play online like a bunch of fucking dweebs. Like damn, bro, whatever happened to family fun games like Guitar Hero and the Rock Band series? Everybody in the living room stressed out, mashing the buttons when this motherfucker trying to beat that one song. I don't think y'all realize that when y'all tell people that they have to expand their horizons to find good games, that you're literally proving their point. Because if gaming was currently as good as it always has been, according to y'all, wouldn't nobody have to dig for shit. It would just be readily available in their face. Oh yeah, one last thing. When people say there ain't no more good games left, please stop suggesting these super niche ass games that only appeal to one type of person. You know damn well everybody ain't into turn-based RPGs. Cut the shit. So do I think gaming is dead? No. But is it as good as it used to be? Fuck no.
So before we get into it, there's a few things to discuss. Obviously, a lot of what he said was rage bait, obviously, and I think he tried to clean up a lot of what he had to say at the end with saying that it wasn't dead. But when you start the conversation out saying gaming is dead, you kind of incite a certain amount of violence. What I will say is that I do see certain points in his argument. Obviously, we've all complained about microtransactions. We've all complained about games not being finished when they come out, the DLCs being parts of games that weren't finished, things of that nature. So these are obviously things that I agree with. I feel like most people agree with. But where I get annoyed, and I think all of you do as well, are going to get annoyed, is the whole aspect of there not being good games to play, or all games fitting this mold of not being finished in microtransactions, obviously. So where do y'all? Because I wanted to get you guys specifically because you grew up and playing games in the era he's talking about, probably in the era before him. I don't know how old brother is. He looks like he may be around y'all age, but he could be a little younger. I don't know.
Right.
What are your immediate thoughts on this?
So, first and foremost, if Loud and Wrong was a person, he would look like this nigga. You know what I'm saying? So, like, yeah, microtransactions. That's easy. Like anybody, like my brother's in town right now. He don't even really play video games no more. He knows microtransactions are annoying. You know what I'm saying? Like we get that. But as far as things go, like just some of the stuff that he's complaining about doesn't really make sense. Like, yeah, we had NBA Street, NBA Madden, NFL Madden, NFL Street, all these games. That's not necessarily something that happened because of the video game industry. That was literally the sport industry saying, hey, we want to collect exclusive contracts. You know what I'm saying? And NFL, the NBA started offering exclusive contracts to ensure quality because they didn't want several games with 7 mid games and then 2 good games. So they were just, all right, well, let's just pay one company, secure this license here and have one good game. So can't control that. Thing 2, what happened to midnight launches? Oh, I don't know. How about downloads? People don't want to line up and go to midnight launches if they can download the game and play it at 9 p.m. their time and on Western specific, whatever. And also couch co-op, me and my kids and my brother just got done playing several 4-player games over the last 24 hours. They still exist. I think it goes back to what he's saying, that he doesn't want to expand his horizon. Sounds like a skill issue.
Honestly, it's a laziness thing. 'Cause I feel like for any other piece of information you want, you easily go to Google and look it up. I think for my review I did on it for the individual review for the channel, I legit went to fucking Google, typed in split screen co-op gaming 2025, then 2024, then 2023. And I think there was like a combination of like 15 to 20. And that's just for like the mainstream title games. I'm pretty sure it's not even accounting for all the Steam games that you probably have around.
Oh, yeah.
Or any of the other stuff. Hell, nigga, Split Fiction just came out. And the thing I love about Split Fiction is that because we were supposed to play it at some point. Yeah, it requires 2 people. And then they even give you a link for a friend to play for free with you for a little bit. So it's like they're encouraging you.
No, they play the whole game together free.
All right. But Perry, what are your thoughts? Where were you at with it?
So my thoughts on his presentation is I go the route of seeing what my kids do. My son, his friends actually do LAN parties now. They'll bring their systems over to our house, log into, because their thing is playing either GTA Online or they play a lot of Fortnite. And since my daughter is now into video games as well, they'll all line up and play Roblox together. So it's no longer a thing of his thing is, like Greg said, is a skill issue, and you're not willing to expand and look into different avenues. Because was there a point in time where the industry was dominant with a variety of sports games? Absolutely. And those was a lot of couch potato games that we just shoot the shits with. But now, in a sense, because a lot of us, the demographic of gamers who are hardcore gamers or kids are now adults with kids, we don't have the chances to do midnight releases. So having those launches online, we still link up in Discord. We're like, hey, y'all ready? We about to log in. We about to enjoy this game. Like, what are your guys' thoughts? Like I believe the last game that we all went through together, for me and Greg, was definitely Claire Obscura Expedition 33. Like we literally played this game together and talked about the experience of one another. Like, how did this feel? And so there's a couple things that he said that I somewhat agree with, but other than that, overall, he's missing the point in gaming. And a lot of people who agree with that miss the aspect of gaming, because there's plenty. I just did a quick list of like certain games that came out within the last 5 years that are absolutely amazing that people just refuse to give an opportunity to. And I believe you guys will both agree that what people are, I think it's gamer fatigue, where there are so many games out and there's so much content of people covering games that they don't feel as though they have the time to play them or cover them. And so they lose the joy of them. I'm like, stop looking at reviews, play the games that you find interesting and create your own narrative for that. So,
or at least be smart enough to understand. Like my thing with reviews, there's 2 ways you do it. you either find one or two reviewers that you find have the same taste as you and go by their scores, or two, if you can't do that, you have to be mature enough to watch a review or read a review and listen to it and ignore the score. Because a lot of times you'll see a review and they're like, oh, well, this game is a 10 out of 10 because it's really fast paced, high action, and the combat is super challenging. That might not be something that someone else is looking for. But if you just see the 10 and then you play the game and you're like, oh, this is too quick and I don't like games that have hard combat in it. Well, they said it's a 10, but you bought it because it's a 10, but it's a 10 for all the reasons you don't like. I think a lot of people miss that. But then also, what did he say? Guitar Hero. What happened to Guitar Hero Family Fun Games? Y'all stop buying Guitar Hero.
We don't want to get into the schematics of the sales of that because those are the things that people
tried to relaunch Guitar Hero like what 5 or 6 years ago. No one bought it. So vote with your wallet.
I wonder why. Please.
You know what's even crazier too? Because I know he had a graphic up behind him that I'm assuming that this graphic is supposed to be representative of games from his era that he thinks are good games. Why is Ghost of Tsushima in this lineup? That game came out maybe like 5 years ago, and I'm pretty sure unless you're saying the whole microtransaction thing and games not coming out finished only started like post 2021. I don't know what to tell you. You have Ghost of Tsushima on this. You have Elden Ring. You have Elden Ring on this.
Mm-hmm.
You have he has Red Dead 2 on here. The Arkham Knight. Okay, Arkham Knight I'll give you, even though that's older. Witcher 3, Ninja Gaiden, Halo. But for the most part, he has like a modern games on here mixed in with this. So I'm like, what is it about these games you enjoy? Is it the single player story based game that you enjoy? Because at that point you have literally a couple different PlayStation exclusives games, and then hell, even as a recent, I talked about it before, we've been gushing over South of Midnight, and that just came out.
Yes.
And the thing that even makes it even more irritating to me is that you have the option to, let's say you don't like Xbox. Fuck it, you don't want to buy an Xbox. Get a PC. Either or. You have two options there where you can get Xbox Game Pass, and literally Xbox Game Pass will have brand new games like a South of Midnight for free. My homeboy has Game Pass, and he said he saw Expedition 33 on there when like a week after it came out, if not the same day. He saw fucking South of Midnight on there. Like a lot of these great games that are new are on that. So you have two avenues to go play that if you don't already have an Xbox. And PlayStation is a whole other thing because they have a bunch of different games in their library that are, I guess, indie, for lack of better terms. If I'm looking at something like a Remnant 2 and how fun that game was, and that was a $40 game, maybe 45, maybe 50. I don't even think it was a $70 game to my memory.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of games like that are ranging from that whole price point from like, if you're on Steam, from $5 to $40, or if you're on console, $39 to $60 you can still buy. That'll fit the mold. But again, the whole aspect of him saying he doesn't want to expand his horizons, that just annoys the fuck out of me. That's just you're asking people to not want you to be ignorant and asking you to try new things, and that's what annoys the fuck out of me.
Absolutely. I mean, and that's what it is. Like, you almost have to try. Like, if you are a gamer, like, you almost have to try to not like a game, or just choose to be closed-minded. I mean, it is what it is, and I mean, and you can definitely tell because 90% of the games that were displayed in this were sports games, like. And his complaint to that is, oh yeah, well, a lot of the people that was 2K mad today was playing other games when they were kids. This is just what they play now. I find that a lot of people as they transition into adulthood really miss out on the fact that games are more than just Super Mario and Sonic, and they miss out on the fact that there's a lot of mature, well-written stories and content that are to be found in gaming. So by the time they do realize that, they're so far out of the loop, the idea of relearning to use 2 analog sticks and all 16 buttons on the controller are just so outrageous to them that they're just like, no, I'm just going to stick to COD, 2K, or Madden. But
let me ask y'all this. Go ahead, Perry, before I ask this question.
One of the things that he brought up is about games being broken, be unreleased. So what people fail to realize is the games that we played growing up were broken as hell. And if you played any fighting game If you found that
Yes.
one infinite loop, it took skill to definitely get it, but it was broken. There was no patches for it. It was just there.
Huh?
Certain builds for like Dark Souls
Pencil?
or even Demon Souls, if you have that build or that glitch to have this particular setup, or hell, there was a glitch in Skyrim in a Bethesda game. Games are going to come broken, and so this narrative, like these games came complete and unbroken, is a lie. They just did not have the ample amount of material, resources that these games have today. Now, do I say a lot of games need to back up from marketing? Spending there's so much money on marketing instead of focusing on developing? Absolutely.
Mhm.
That was Cyberpunk's biggest issue. Their budget was, I think, over 2/3 of it was spent on marketing. Where we've seen, like, if you let them finish the game, it's a phenomenal game. It's beautiful. It runs great, and they're expanding it with new updates. So,
Yeah. Like on top of that as well, just to add, their other issue was it was absolutely the marketing, but they spent so much on marketing, it got to the point that they let their marketing campaign dictate when the game was coming out, despite the fact
mhm.
it was not ready to come out.
Exactly. So people would need to understand, like, do their due diligence in the gaming industry now, because we are that demographic, that we was that target audience where we were kids, where we did not have the financial means like our parents had to get the games. We got what they could, and sometimes what they requested. As we got older, we start spending money on the things we love and thinking that was good, and then we are at the age where it's like, oh, I can buy a bundle of games.
Oh
All
yeah.
right, cool. This stuff is fun now. Like, each game that I've played so far has been a wonderful experience again. And I believe gaming is in a great industry. But go ahead and ask your question, Charles.
Yeah, I wanted to ask because I had this thought, but again, I wasn't around to really understand this at the time to play games during this time period. But do you feel like there wasn't as an abundance of games at that point in time? If we're talking like
Oh no.
late '90s, early 2000s, or was there like
Oh
would you say
no.
there's the same amount of games that will come out now as there were then, or is there just more? Is there more variety now and more
It's way more
options?
variety, more
So
options, way more
I
options
think you
now.
get I won't even say that I think it's kind of even. Like the big thing is back then games were so much cheaper to actually create. It
Mhm.
allowed for a lot more creativity, a lot more low risk. So you did get a lot of variety. I
Mm.
think what evens it out though, while there were so many different types of games out there, what evens it out is in modern gaming, there is probably not as much variety simply because games are expensive to create. And for that reason, some people don't want to invest that money. But the access to the variety is so much easier because you can just go to Steam, PSN, the Microsoft Store, the Nintendo eShop versus, back then, if there was like a weird game that you wanted to play, you just had to go to GameStop and hope they had it.
Right.
So that's like the big difference. I also wanted to point out that, like, I think another thing is part of this is just you grow up.
Mm.
And because you grow up, one of two things happens when you're a gamer as an adult. One, you realize that you got other bills to pay, and maybe you can't buy as many games as you want. So then you end up getting the Call of Duty and the Madden and call it a day, and that's your games for the year. Or two, what happens is because of the fact that you have extra money, you buy more games than you have time for. And when you buy more games, what happens is what in can conflict of when you're a kid, you get whatever your parents buy.
Mhm.
And what brings this to my attention is my boy put up here Rockstar's State of Emergency. Charlie, I know this is a game that you've never played. Perry, I don't know if you've ever played it. It's trash. It is garbage. And the fact that he said, oh, here's another good game, and it was Rockstar State of Emergency, says to me that the game was probably in the bargain bin for $10, $20. He took it home and he had to find a way to like it,
Mm-hmm.
which happened as a kid. That doesn't happen as an adult. If you buy a trash game as an adult and it's trash, you don't have to play it. You just have to suck up the fact that you wasted money. So I think there's a couple things that go into like why these things are different as adults, because like like you can take the L as a 25, 30-year-old man. You can't take that L when you're 10. Like, you bought a trash game, like you better smile when your mom comes in the room, because they're wasting my money. I'm gonna just throw this whole PlayStation away. Nobody wants to hear that.
At
I'm
all.
saying, like,
Even
me and my brother played some of the worst Dragon Ball Z fighters ever. But guess what? We made them fire because we was like, hey, we don't know what they saying. We got the Japanese version. We don't know how to do none of the moves. We gonna sit here and hit every button on this controller until we figure it out. And the game was bad, but hey, we had fun with it.
to add to that too, I wanna kind of elaborate with that as far as the point he brought up with Baldur's Gate, because obviously I felt some type of way about that because I love that game. And what's funny is initially I didn't think I would love that game. I think when you're also a kid, you have those things to where you get those games, but they're not even trash games. They're good games, but they're not the type of game you would initially look for. Like, I remember when I think I got a all A's my report card for the first time in a minute, and my mom was like, "Yeah, you know what? To reward you, I'm gonna get you a new video game." And you know what she got me? Fucking Mass Effect, because it was in a bargain bin because it was older at this point. As a kid, I'm only playing 2K, Mortal Kombat, I think maybe Ultimate Alliance a little bit at that point. A game like, I don't think I played a RPG or MMO at all, let alone a game with that much detail and that much lore. I'd never touched a game like that. So I think I tried to play Mass Effect for like a little bit, didn't get too much far into it because I wasn't trying to read anything. I was just trying to shoot shit. And I just put it down. I didn't touch the game for like a year. A year later, I went back and played it again and fell in love with the game, played it, beat it like 4 or 5 times. And now it's like my top 5 favorite games of all time because I was forced to learn to like the game because I only got a new game like maybe 3 times a year, if that.
Yeah.
And one of those was dependent on my report card. So the whole aspect of like, oh, it's super niche, only one type of person likes it. Specifically talking about Baldur's Gate, bro, people that I know that are not gamers whatsoever were obsessed with this game and sit down and playing it. Again, another couch co-op game you can play. I know plenty of niggas in a relationship, like my homegirl and my homeboy, they're married. They'll legit just like pull up the couch in the living room and just play Baldur's Gate together and run a campaign together. Like that's like that's one of their like their date nights.
Me and Perry, we ran a campaign with a couple of the homies. And none of us at the point that we got Baldur's Gate, we were like, we're all curious. We don't know if we're going to like it. We're going to take the gamble and see what happens. And
shout out to Ryan.
None of us. Yeah, Ryan, our buddy Ryan was the only one. But me, Perry, and Sean were just like, all right, let's just check it out. None of us have ever really played Dungeons and Dragons, never been Dungeons and Dragons kind of niggas or none of that. But we played it. It was like, and the moment where I'm like trying to pickpocket a nigga in jail, and they across the city politicking with the leader of the village, and they're like, "Bro, why are you in jail?" I'm like, "I didn't know I could go to jail." Like, it doesn't.
Or Ryan sneaking around the mushrooms, and Sean moves, and all you see is explosions, and all you hear in the background is Ryan. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah,
what the fuck happened?
Yeah, he took that whole lady's husband. That was pretty funny.
Whole husband, but it goes back to like, you don't know until you try. I didn't know I was into MMOs. I swear to him, but it was something I was interested in because I'm like, I'm busy now and I want to invest some time in a game that has some longevity so I can get lost into the world. Everyone knows I am a dungeons and like I love medieval times. I love dragons. I love knights. I love magic. So Skyrim, it's there. Oblivion, there. You know what I'm saying? Perry will be. Yeah. I bought Skyrim from PS3 to PS5.
Did you buy it on your Switch too?
Yes, I did. Did I play it? No, I am.
But you bought it.
Bethesda has my money. But because my homie was playing Fallout, and I was like, I'll try something like this. Fell in love with it. So I gave MMOs a try. I started off with Elder Scrolls Online. Was kind of like, I'm thinking I'm getting Skyrim, but I'm not. But then I had someone who walked me through Final Fantasy 14 Online. The people in that community are really good, helpful, and happy to introduce people to that genre. Well, hey, come on, I'll show you the ways. This is what you do. This is how you dress up. Here's your rotations. This is how you make money. For my first time ever on stream, someone gifted me $750,000 gil just for being a new player. He's like, what you want? I get. And he's like, you know what? I'll get you your first mount and your first piece of armor. That's on me. Simply because I'm a new player and I'm just trying to learn. He showed me how you get on your mounts, how you fly around, all that stuff. Yeah. And then like 4 months later, he gave me 1.5 million. So it's just like you have to be able to try these different genres of video games to see what they actually bring and actually network with the community that's out there. Like stop playing the game. How can I say this? Stop thinking that the games that people play like Final Fantasy, Elder Scrolls is for the weirdos and fairies, and give it an actual try because those games are fucking phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. And I'll say it again. I know you said not to say it, but fuck it. Again, the only niggas I ever hear complaining about this shit are niggas who only play 2K and Madden or MLB. I swear to God, I never hear this conversation, this dialogue with people that play more than one type of game.
It's never the niggas that just play MLB because the niggas that only play MLB don't care about nothing else. Nobody else.
Yeah.
And they hate that game.
I'll hear the dialogue of people like, oh, well, games, they take too long. You know, it takes too long to really play the game or enjoy the game. I'm like, nigga, find a single player game with a story, pick it up and put it down. There's a save point in video games for a fucking reason. So you can stop and come back. I don't understand. Like, I feel like people make up their own issues with gaming based on their unique situation. And because there's similar people in a similar situation, there's like a couple hundred people that make this small demographic up that have these issues that are fucking stupid that you can easily solve. Mm-hmm. But it's niggas playing the victim in that regard. Gaming has reached a point that like anime or like comics have reached to where there is literally a genre or a subgenre for you no matter what you're interested in. If you're a horror person, there are horror games. If you're not a first-person horror game, there are third-person horror games. There's Telltale like horror games that you can play. Action games. There's a million different types of games and a million different types of genres you can play. You just literally, it takes one quick Google search. Oh, that title looks cool. Let me look up some gameplay on YouTube real quick. Cool. Let me find a creator that I fuck with to give a review on it real quick. Maybe if I don't trust the gameplay I'm seeing. I don't know. There's a million ways to do it.
Yeah, it is. Like, even I had a situation like this game came out called Digimon Survive. I'm like, what is this? I like Digimon as a kid. Don't really mess with it much now, but Digimon was cool. I look at this game and find out it's a tactical RPG, which are like the grid base, and you gotta move. You can't like never played one of those before. And I'm like, I don't know. Then start playing the game. The game ends up being 75, maybe 80% visual novel, 20% tactical RPG. So this game is a lot of reading, And granted, had I looked at the reviews on it, most of them said, oh, it was a 6 out of 10, it was a 7 out of 10, this game is trash. Like, some even gave it a 5 out of 10. I played that game, and it's probably like, I won't say it's in my top 10. It's absolutely like in probably like my top 20, top 30 games ever. Like, I remember the story forever. It was great. It was fun. Had a blast. But you have to step out of your comfort zone.
That was me. Biggest Yu Yu Hakusho Dart Tournament on Game Boy. Like, I played the fuck of that. That was my first. I didn't even watch it. I didn't know there was an anime attached to this shit. But I played that game and I'm like, oh nigga, this is cool as fuck. I found out there was an anime. I watched the fuck out of Yu Yu Hakusho after that.
Because you're a man of culture.
Game Boy era, though. It was some legitimately bad games in the Game Boy era. Whew.
I'll say Greg is the reason why I am a huge JRPG fan. The man was like, there's this game called Persona 5. And he talked about it, and like he was quiet about it. And he said, Nick, I can't put this game down for some reason. I'm going to get back at you here soon. It got to the point that it sounded like he was on crack cocaine. He said, Nick, I can't put this game down. I need help. And then they had Persona 5 Royale release. That's when he was like, Nick, you need to play this fucking game. And so I got into it. And I'm like, the first dungeon was definitely a slow crawl. But then you start building your team, you start getting involved into the story. And then you hear peak musical background music. Yes. And then you find out that Ryuji is Best's boy.
Hey, not too many spoilers, nigga. Hold on, I'm playing this
Oh
still.
no.
Not too many.
Ryuji is like the first person you meet in the game.
Yeah, he's the
Oh,
first
right,
person.
right.
There's no
He's just
spoilers.
bestest boy.
He just best his boy.
And furthermore, to even tell you how good this game was, is like I played it for the first time. Well, actually, my first Persona was Persona 4. One of my managers at work let me borrow it for my PS Vita. Played it was hooked on it for a weekend, and I'm like, this is too good. It was so good that I didn't want to keep playing it because it was his game. So I gave it back to him. I went to go buy the digital version for my Vita, and then I looked and realized that Persona 5 was out. It was like, Googled it. The stories were separate. I went straight to Persona 5. The first playthrough can easily be 100 hours. I played it, beat it, went back to it, played it again. Second playthrough, probably about 60 hours. And then when Persona 5 Royal came out, played it again. First playthrough on that could easily be at like 120 hours. Beat it again. Like, just, and I mean, and again, it's not like I sat down and played it 5, 7, 10 hours a day, but, you know, games like that, play them over a span of a month or two and, you know, enjoy.
Man, yeah, bro. This conversation in general is one that it's I don't know. It's one of those conversations where like I think most people know what's right in this whole. They know right from wrong when it comes to this conversation, but there's still just a small minority of people that have this. And no offense to bro personally. I think the dude's name is Rome. Don't know nigga at all. I've never seen his content outside
His
this
name
clip.
is Wrong.
Rome, yeah, it's Rome something
Wrong.
on Twitter. Rome, like the country.
WRONG.
No, ROME.
Rome, like the
Wrong.
city of Rome.
Like Rome.
Roman Empire.
Like he's wrong. He's incorrect.
That is true. That too.
I'm not engaging.
Is his first
I'm not
name
engaging with it.
Loud?
I
I'm
assume
not
so.
engaged. Loud and wrong.
This nigga sick. But yeah, this is a dialogue, and again, it sounds like somebody doesn't play a lot of different variety of games, and I'm so interested to know because he has this graphic that's behind him initially with a bunch of different games on it, and I'd be so interested to know how many of these games he's actually played, because there's no way you have this standpoint and you have a graphic behind you that has Ghost of Tsushima and Elden Ring on it, 2 games that have come out within the last like 6 years.
Did you bring that graphic up?
Yeah, no, I'll share it back up. Yeah.
I'm definitely curious because hell, Elden Ring within itself.
Okay. So what we got? So we got Elden Ring, goated. We got Like a Dragon, goated. Red Dead Redemption, goated.
2 at that.
5, goated. Final Fantasy 7 Remake, goated. Those like all of these. Let me go down.
Is that Zelda Tears of the Kingdom?
That's Tears of the Kingdom, also fire. I mean,
High Five Rush is a phenomenal game that just got released.
Yeah. I mean, really, and what's funny is, as I'm looking at this, there are only 3 games that are from the era he's referring to. That looks like a graphic from maybe Halo 3. There's Burnout Paradise, like right by his right ear, and then Ninja Gaiden Black, which I think is the remake port. And then funny enough, Psychonauts 2 is a game from that era. It is a sequel that is still a game of that era. It was just released in like 2020 or maybe 2019 or something like that. So it's like, this is, I don't, there's a mixed message here. Are these the bad games of modern day, or are these the games that he likes?
Psychonauts 2 came out in 2021, by the way.
And part of me wants to say it's just a background, but then when you minimize yourself to the right corner and it's like you want this to be seen.
Yeah.
Like you want this to be the example of games you're talking about. But again, Ghost of Tsushima, Ghost of Tsushima, Hi-Fi Rush, I think Red Dead 2 came out, 2021, maybe 22? Am I tripping?
Red Dead 2, I think, was like 2017, 2018.
2018?
I had to guess.
Elden Ring for sure. Elden Ring and bare minimum, I know Elden Ring and Ghost of Tsushima are bare minimum 2020 and forward. And that was a time period where games were significantly still having a lot of those issues. I think when did Cyberpunk come out? Was that 2020 or 2021?
What was that?
Cyberpunk 2077?
2019?
It
Yeah,
came out December 10th, 2020.
Yeah, I remember it was during the
So,
pandemic.
yeah, it came out in 2020, December 10th. Elden Ring came out second. Elden Ring came out February 25th of 2022. So these games came out within the last 5 years.
Yeah. So again, there's a mixed message and a hint of hypocrisy that's going on there with this whole conversation.
It's a huge thing of hypocrisy, and people are just following for the engagement. And apparently, people are dragging him in the comment sections, which is earned. He earned that.
Every creator that I've followed or that follows me that I know is like reposted that with a message saying, "Yeah, bro, you don't play games.
You don't play games.
Just say you like Call of Duty and Madden. Call it a day. It's okay. We know a bunch of niggas just like you, and that's fine.
We do.
Like if that's what you like, that's cool.
And if you're upset with your particular game genre and you want variety, be vocal about that. But also support. Spend your money. Because guess what? Greg will attest to you. As soon as we seen Onimusha 2 drop, I spent my money that day.
Mm-hmm.
I had $5 in my account. I went negative because I'm going to support Capcom to keep giving me more gas. Because that's a game I love.
Capcom no more. They like the Cap God status, bro.
They are Cap Gods. They are Cap Gods. They are delivering every single time. So I'm just like,
that was the Mega Man.
That's it.
And I'll say this. I'll get to this point because it's gonna be a little toxic, but
do it.
I've for a minute have been anti gatekeeping. I don't see the point of it. I don't really agree with it in generic concept. But at moments like this, or you have people that obviously aren't gamers, and I think the term gamer is getting tossed around really loosely at this point.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not somebody that is at least willing to try different games, or you only play one type of game, me calling you a gamer, I'm just like, you're a nigga who plays games for sure. But the term gamer, in my opinion, what I'm looking at this point is somebody that plays multiple types of games. Again, for a person that is not, at least from my perspective, on the outside looking in, talking about the state of something when you don't really engage, like you engage with maybe 5% of what this whole thing is. Yeah, bro, this isn't a conversation for you. I'm sorry. Yeah. If there is an overabundance of different types of games dropping and games releasing that are amazing, and you're only playing 5% of them because you have this rhetoric or this ideal in your mind, you're not a gamer for. I'm sorry.
Not a gamer.
And I try to be kind and loose with like people that they maybe play fucking Animal Crossing, Pokemon here and there. I'm like, cool, maybe I'll call you a gamer. Again, if you play it, you enjoy it, cool, I'll probably give you that title. But if you're niggas like this that have, again, a comment to have on the entire genre or the entire entire industry as a whole, and you only engage with part of it, no, bro, I'm sorry, get the fuck out of this conversation.
And to your point, Charlie, people who support, like, play Pokemon games and only Pokemon games, they're very vocal about their particular game being shit. They're not saying the whole industry. They're saying Pokemon is shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So be direct with what you want to do, and you have to try. It's like someone calling themselves a foodie, and they only eat McDonald's.
Mm-hmm. It's like somebody saying that they love comics, but all they know is the MCU.
Or they only learn comics through watching comic explain videos. I hate those niggas. Those niggas are like those niggas annoy me to the utmost, where they're like, oh, well, I know about this, that, and the third because I watched Rob explain this whole 3 hour. I'm like, okay, cool. Did you read the book? No. So how do you have an opinion on the book when you haven't read the book?
Exactly.
You saw a couple scans and the nigga give his opinion on it, but you don't. I don't know, bro.
Yeah. Exactly. That's why. That's
like where we are with this is, imagine we in Arizona. Some of us don't have to imagine. It's hot as shit outside, right?
Right.
And we at the pool. We got cold water, ice water, lemonade. Niggas is chilling in the pool. There's icicles in the pool, nigga. You know what I'm saying? It's hot outside, but we got ice cubes floating in that mug, right? And here come Tyrone knocking on the door. He's saying, "It's so hot out here." And we look at him. We like, "Yeah, bro, it's hot." He's just like, "It's just so hot." And we like, you know what, bro? We got ice cold water. We got lemonade. And we got ice cubes in our swimming pool, bro. You want to come kick it, Tyrone? And Tyrone says to us, "Does sis got her feet in the water?" It's like, yeah. Yeah, nah, bro. I'm cool, bro. I don't like swimming pools with his feet in the water. It's like, but
What?
you hot. You thirsty. You sweating. We got everything you need, bro. You just gotta come in. And it's like, oh no, I'm gonna just sit out here on the lawn. That's 2K niggas. Yeah. We don't gotta gatekeep because they keep themselves outside, bro. So don't feel bad about gatekeeping. Them niggas is gonna sweat themselves to death while we're drinking lemonade in a pool with ice cubes in it. Well, these niggas is outside 120 degrees sitting in the grass. And it ain't even real grass because it's too hot for grass to grow there.
Ain't that it? I'll say
So,
gatekeeping is good just on if it's so because I might get flagged a casual level. If you're a casual gamer, I'm cool with you just playing casual games. Like Call of Duty is it's one of the highest purchased games every year is released.
And it can get sweaty.
It definitely can get sweaty. But
That's
like
the top,
basketball,
2%.
exactly. It's like someone picking up a basketball and going outside and somebody about to go hoop. Everyone does it. Every culture does it. Does not make you godlike. And it's a very casual sport, even with soccer. Like, there's going to be some cats out there that's going to get heavy, but it's cool. It's a casual, you know what I'm saying? It's very casual. And it's fine. If you want to go to that elite level, you're going to have to put that time in, of course, and you have to learn the schematics, the updates, what works, what doesn't work. You're going to have your complaints. But I gatekeep where people, and I'm going to say with manga, is if you want to get in this genre, you have to be able to diversify yourself to understand that storytelling from shonen is completely different when you go to seinen or stories like that. You have to be able to be willing to dive yourself into those. You have to be able to be like, oh, I know this artist by pointing out their artwork. And I only introduce that stuff to people once they get over the initial shock and do their own research. You know what I'm saying? So people just need to realize, like, bro, you put a lot of time into a basic casual game, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But you're not going to put over 7 playthroughs on 3 different consoles on Baldur's Gate 3. I am calling out Ryan Lett and carry people from beginning to end. You're not doing that just because you hate turn-based. He loves that type of games. And I support people like that.
I got to finish my Dark Age playthrough on that game, man.
Yeah, you do. I'm going to put it to you like this. Pause. No Diddy and all that. Don't knock it till you try it.
That's wow. That is
you know, we're just gonna close it there.
That part.
All right, y'all. Y'all let me know let us know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you guys agree? Do you disagree? Let's have the conversation. I'm always down for the conversation, but it's, again, I think it's unanimous decision and unanimous thought process that this is some bullshit and bro needs to go play more games. But all right, y'all. This has been Captain Diesel, Captain Diesel's Dojo in the Captain's Lounge, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Later.